Everyone, this is JD Calderon, and this is Indy Comics Explained. And yet again, I brought another fantastic group of independent creators. So please hit like, hit subscribe, share out the video, let everybody know we're here. And please go check out in the show notes. The Oswald Chronicles is currently on Kickstarter. You can get this for the first 45 physical backers. You get this guy right here, and you can get a pin if I can find it. All right, I lost my pin. I have to show. Oh, here it is. Jesus Christ, I think. You get this little pin right here. All right. There you go. It's like a little acrylic pin. So anyway, enough about me. Let's get on the important people. Let's start with the co-host, Mr. C. Michael Lanning.
What's up? Hello, I am C. Michael Lanning, independent artist that work for Arrow Comics and the upcoming Doghouse with Hazard Productions, and host of Dispatches from Outside the Box on the IndyComicsNetwork.com. Ready to grill some creators. So
nice. Mr. Lanning, I have to say I'm a little disappointed in you today.
Oh, come on now. I have all independents on today. I'm not wearing anything Marvel.
If you look behind you, you have some comic books in here. One of them is like, it's not bag.
Well,
you put that in the bag, buddy.
Why would I put it in the bag? I gotta read it, man.
I know when I shipped it to you, it was in a bag. That's all I'm saying.
But you see, I have the floppies in a bag. So there you go.
Oh, gotcha.
There you go. Okay. See,
fair enough.
But nowadays you really have to. You have to be careful with your bags. It's the economy, So you got to put the really, really important stuff in the bags, like the floppies. You get the trade so you can read it. That's how you do that.
No, that's fine. Yeah, but I just have to say good taste. But anyway, and our co-host.
Hey,
Mr. Damion.
Hi, everybody. My name is Damion Waldbrunn. Hello. This is my book, Romer X. I make toys. I talk on the internet. And I like Funko Pops, as you can see. Other than that, I'm here to lightly saute some guests tonight. Not grill them. Maybe a little deep fry, depends on the flavor. So.
Nice. And the first of those guests.
Hey, I'm Corey of Lucky 33 Comics. Happy to be here. And I would describe my flavor as salty. So, if you like that in your dish, then when you cook it up, get ready for that.
Nice.
There you go. Just natural salty there, huh?
Hey, I'm Alex from Lucky 33. I guess you would call me the spicy one of the bunch. So mix it in. Our books are The New Luminaries. We've got issues 1 and 2 out. We have a book called Astronaut High Schooler that was written by J.R. Harris, which we are working on the second one with him. And I do the color flats for Mittens Space Pilot by Greg Mokin and Sear Nova Comics and our other books.
Very nice.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Mo of Lucky 33. I guess my flavor would be a more minty flavor. Nice, cool flavor.
Disgusting combination.
My gosh.
No one's going to eat it all at the same time.
You're the mint at the end.
Yeah, it's like the after dessert mint.
There you go.
Part of the Lucky 33 crew, and I just want to shout out our active Kickstarter for Max Axel and the Wild Circuit, which you can find on Kickstarter right now. We've already hit our goal, and we're working towards hitting all of our stretch goals. So if you want to help out, we would greatly appreciate that.
Nice.
Hey, Charlie McElvy. I'm like Frank's Red Hot Sauce. You can put this shit on everything. I got Spider Squirrel Volume 1 actually on Kickstarter today. We've launched Watchguard, Spider Squirrel, and Milestone books successfully through either Kickstarter or Zoop. And we're here to just kind of have fun with these guys.
All right. Very nice. So you know what? I put here's something I don't normally do. I gave the show a title, and I never ever approach that title usually during the shows. But I'm gonna ask this question. Is there something more other than crowdfunding for independent creators? Right. So what are your thoughts on that? Let's start with the man himself, Mr. Charlie McElvy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think if we're stuck with crowdfunding, you're kind of limiting your audience quite a bit. So, I mean, social media has given us a chance to actually interact with our readership or potential readership quite a bit. Having our own websites and having the ability to, whether it's Substack or some blog or newsletter, to interact on the regular with our folks. I think there's absolutely more than just crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is the seed, but like any garden, right? You got to have more than just a seed to make it grow. You got to have soil, you got to have water, you got to have some nutrients, and so there's an all-inclusive kind of a facet to an economy to our method, and it has to be. Otherwise, it's just going to be a dwindling audience, because over time they're just not going to buy into it.
All right. Fair enough. Corey, you got any thoughts on that?
I'm glad he went first, because I was just going to go, yes. I mean, I'm still in the honeymoon period, right? This is our first Kickstarter, so like this is a brave new world for me. But thanks, man. That's a really good point. Yeah, the social media, all other aspects of that, reaching out to people directly is better than it's ever been. And I'm just excited to keep going.
All right. Fair enough.
Yep.
Alex, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think, I mean, there's a couple of cool ways to get engaged. And like, I moved recently, like last year, and I moved to a new town, and we have like a neighborhood that's a little more like involved than I was used to. And like, you know, people know each other, and they have like a Facebook group, and they have like a group chat and stuff. So it was like pretty welcoming. And at one point, one of the ladies reached out to me, and she was like, "Hey, I know you guys make comics. Would you want to do like a little short comic for our newsletter?" And I was like, that sounds like so much fun. So like we have a monthly newsletter where I put out, you know, we work on it. We make a little comic script, like a Sunday, you know, comic. And it's been so much fun. It's really easy because it keeps our brain going, coming up with something really short and quick and easy. And everybody seems to really like it. And it's, you know, getting our word out there. When I shared the one for February, I was like, hey, if you want to donate to the Kickstarter, you know, here it is. Nice. I'm on this weird cheese toast Facebook group, and I just started talking to one of them, another artist on there, about making a little comic strip for them. There's like a ton of followers, so like, you know, people post their art all the time, they get a ton of engagement, and like just participating in these spaces and kind of, you know, going with what resonates with you. I think you'll find other people that it will resonate with as well. So that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to like find our niches and meet people that have similar likes and interests and branch out from there.
All right, cool. Mo, what are you thinking?
Just to piggyback kind of with Charlie and also Corey was talking about, but you know, engagement outside of Kickstarter, because Kickstarter for me is almost more like a storefront. Like it's where I just direct people to go to buy the stuff. When I want to talk to people, either fans or other creators, social media has been a big one, especially Instagram for us. We've been doing a big Instagram push lately. We've met other comic creators on Instagram, and we start talking to them, have done cross promotions and navigated that all through social media. So it's really good to put yourself out there as many avenues as possible. Even before our Kickstarter and our Instagram, there's a popular video game YouTube group that I follow, the Easy Allies, and they do like a community showcase every month for their patrons. So I've been submitting our stuff to there, and they have a pretty big following. So just, you know, anywhere we can submit our art that allows us to, that gets eyeballs on it. But definitely think social media has been the big one outside of Kickstarter as far as like engaging with people and talking to people and, you know, either collaborating or talking to fans or readers. So.
All right, fair enough. Damion, what are you thinking?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's already been so many good points made as far as what's available beyond crowdfunding. There's still the old tried and true methods of, you know, trying to get into Diamond and doing all that. Like, it still exists. Whether or not it's the best bet, it's a whole nother show. But you know, it still exists. Shows, you know, going to shows and getting out in front of people. And I think because social media is it is so part of our daily life that, like Spen said, you know, you grow communities and you grow groups, and you know, as long as you're on the up and up and not trying to like commit crimes. And I mean, hey, if you want to commit crimes and buy my book, I won't judge you. But crimes are subjective. But yeah, and I think that building the audience and then trying to get, that following to follow you, to stay with you, is one of the other methods that, can be done to really sell your book.
All right, fair enough. Mr. Michael, what are you thinking?
I don't think I could really elaborate on what anybody said. I think everybody had a pretty good answer, except there better be, right? There should be more than just crowdfunding for creators. I mean, in all honesty, like, yeah, you have your crowdfunding, but you better have your store too, because you can't keep crowdfunding the same book over and over again. And damn it, if you get enough crowdfunding and you get enough books, you got to sell them somewhere. So if you can find cons, that works too. But also, but stores, I think everybody pretty much gave, what you could give as far as an answer. Is that so there needs to be more than that?
No, that's cool. Listen, the reason I asked the question is that we've been seeing the industries in flux, right? I mean, the bigger industry, right? We're talking about a lot of stores shutting down. It's like, because there's always my I've been in previews, I've been in Diamond before, I've been through all that jazz and distributed books widely or whatever, and I want to get back to that, And my fear is like, is this going to shut down, right? Is that going to be like? You're hearing more and more stores are relying on other things. They're not relying on comics as their main selling point. When I was a kid growing up, you walked into a comic book shop, that's all it was. There was just comic books. Just Mo, Alex, Corey, just to let you know I'm old. So
hey, listen, right. we may look young, but we're actually 34, so we're relatively old.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We all have very
we're all getting up there, don't worry.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm right there with you. Like, I will say that when 10 years ago when we were talking about this, it was a pipe dream. When we did a business plan during college to try to figure out how much it would cost to print comics and make them and it was so untenable back then. Even there was no internet distribution, there was no Kickstarter. You couldn't just fund a book with strangers' eyeballs, which is unbelievable that we can do this now. We wouldn't exist if it wasn't for these weird new avenues. But I agree with you. I mean, like, we grew up going in the comic shops buying books, and I want when we made our first book, we brought them to comic shops and we gave them to my old hometown comic shop and the one that Riggs was going to, and it felt really good. But we sold 5 copies to the people that we know that went to the comic shop that was near us to buy our book. So it wasn't like that was the smart business decision.
No, I got you, man. I got you. But that's my thoughts behind it. It's just like, where are we moving? Because there are places. I mean, they say Whatnot is a big thing now, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people selling on Whatnot. You have, what is it, Zoop?
Yep.
Crowdfunder. Indiegogo's been there for a minute. Obviously Kickstarter is there, and Backer Kid is going to get into the business real soon, full swing. So I mean, it's going to be, that part of it is open, but it's just like, where else can we move into, right? So that's the other thing. So those are my thoughts on it. So, Mr. Lanning, you're up.
You kind of prompted a new question I didn't even have. So my question is this: does a comic-centered crowdfunder really a best thing to have? And what I mean is crowdfunding like Kickstarter, but you only Kickstarter comics. Is that a wise thing to have?
That's what Zoop's doing. I mean, I did one on Zoop, and what I like about it is it's very comic centric. So when you build your campaign, they build it for you. You just provide all the information. And it's exclusively comics or comics adjacent, right? So if you had a statue that was related to, say, Billy Tucci's She or something like that, or or maybe JD's Oswald or something, then that would apply. But they're focused on that market. And if you look at Kickstarter, even Kickstarter's, I think the bulk of Kickstarter right now, if you go on there and look at it, is comics. So it's almost exclusively comics already. I think there's no problem with that. I think it's sustainable. I think it's doable. I think it works. And the reason is because somebody already mentioned it, is the direct market is struggling. And, while we see comics, mainstream comics fighting with manga in terms of market share, indie is thriving. And, last year, if you take out indie, you see a major decline in comics. But if you look at indie, you can go to Comic-Con or some of these other websites, look at the data. But if you leave indie in there, then indie sustains most of comics, and most of indie is crowdfunding. So yeah, I do think it's absolutely a good model. I think it's sustainable. I think it's doable. And as we grow, we in indie grow into other avenues and ventures and ancillary products, whether it's statues or animation or manga, Western manga, if you can still call it manga. That's a debatable topic for a whole other episode. But I think, yeah, absolutely. So I'll shut up.
No, that's fine. Well, hold on. Before Corey, I just wanted to address this guy. This is JD Rosario, our regular co-host, who played.
Hey. Where's he at? Where's he at?
He's in Atlantic City of all places.
Slack ass.
He's a slacker, I know, right? It's just his 1 year wedding anniversary, right? It's just his 1 year wedding anniversary. It's not like he has something important to do. No, but yeah, congratulations to him.
Remember, you live close to him, so.
Oh yeah. Well, yes. Listen, nothing but love for those guys. It says, no, you need an Angie's List style aggregation site or Comic-Con for crowdfunded books. Okay, that's interesting.
Well, then get on it. Make it
happen.
Be the change you wish to see.
Crowdfund that.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's what he's talking about. That's why he's saying, I think he's saying Kickstarter is that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where you have different.
I think it's really cool that, I hate to say it that you can cut out the middleman, but you can just sell your books directly to people through the internet. And not only that, but like they're okay and not, in fact, like kind of excited about the prospect of they funded this thing that they forgot about a month ago, and then all of a sudden books show up their house and they like got stickers and other tchotchkes. And I know people who like that's what they do. They like it. It's fun for them. And like it's becoming really fun for me because like talking to people and then meeting them and then funding their books and then getting them and putting them in the stack with all the other people that I've talked to is like the reason why I like doing this in general. It's just like we're making friends with people who are doing the same thing that we are. And this used to be a really exclusive club that none of us would have been able to like fight tooth and nail in without a lot of support. And we're able to like create our own community and talk to each other and do stuff like this, which is so cool.
Yeah.
And another thing about Kickstarting, especially, crowdfunding, but especially on Kickstarter, I think it's sustainable is, the add-ons, because I've noticed, we noticed when we were building our Kickstarter, like that's the model is like, you don't just fund the book the one time and the book disappears from Kickstarter. It's like now it's in your catalog of things you throw into your add-ons of different tiers to entice people to give you more money for your next project. And then like, that kind of steamrolling feels very sustainable right now, because like if they miss this book and they miss Max Axel's Kickstarter, when we do our next project on Kickstarter, Max Axel will be there either in the tiers or in the add-on, so it will always give people a chance to go through our backlogs while still giving us money and helping us fund our current projects. So it feels very sustainable right now on that angle.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Corey, you got any thoughts on it?
Yes.
anything beyond yes?
I mean, what? Like, because the original question was, is a comics only crowdfunding thing sustainable? And I haven't experimented with it yet. I can't wait to get to that stage where I feel comfortable. Like, no, I don't even need only Kickstarter or just Kickstarter. Let's just go to people. And I hope that by the sounds of it, it grows just like that much more by the time I'm ready for that step.
Yeah. You watch guys like Russell Nolte. Russell and Michelle Leone put out a Kickstarter last year about, crowdfunding in general. And but if you look at Russell, look at his campaigns. I mean, his campaigns consistently do 5 figures plus. And he's figured out the model. Yeah, you talk about sustainable. We could talk about Pat Shand. Pat, 6-figure Pat. I mean, like,
Pat
dude,
Shand, man.
Yeah.
God damn.
I got a couple of his books back too.
So cool.
See, we all do, right?
Yeah.
Pat has figured out 20-something, almost 24 campaigns. Pat has figured it out, and the only way as of right now that I feel like crowdfunding is not sustainable is if you're not learning lessons with every freaking campaign. Like, you have got to pay attention. You've got to be humble. You've got to watch what others are doing, and then you've got to continue innovating your own platform. And Frank just said it in the comments, right? Support indie comics. I love that, but and that's my favorite hashtag. You see it on my Twitter, like just about every other post, if not every post. But what you have to do is you can't rely on support indie comics. You can't rely on a movement. You can't rely on people who are going to be there for you constantly. You've got to constantly innovate and evolve your platform. And if you don't do that, it's not sustainable. So it still requires work. And I think that's the thing people take for granted is they think that Kickstarter, Zoop, Crowdfunder, Backer Kit, whatever the hell else is out there, Indiegogo, I always forget Indiegogo because I never back on it. They think they're out there and it's just easy to throw something out there. It is easy to throw something out there, but it's not easy to make it work, and it's not easy to make it successful. And you can't count on. In my first campaign with Spider Squirrel went 5 figures. It was 200-something% funded, 400-something backers. Great numbers. Sounds great. Guess what? I couldn't sit back and coast on that, and actually had a big decline on number 2. So, my failing is expecting to get all 400-something people back for the second campaign that I had for the first campaign. I didn't. Spoiler. So I had to go back and reclaim that audience for the third one. And now I'm in this other volume, this full volume, and people love volumes because it's a collected story. So we're seeing, while that's down also, there's 200 and almost 300 freaking campaigns right now live on Kickstarter for all just comics, nothing else. Forget everything else because I back shit on like tech, sports training, and physical fitness,
board games, and
bike helmets, and board games, all kinds of crap, right? So we have to keep that in mind. Is if you want to be successful, you can't relent. Like, that's the mistake you make, is thinking I'm just going to throw it on Kickstarter and be successful. Woohoo! Yeah, no, it ain't gonna work, right? Yep. You want it to be sustainable, you gotta work.
Absolutely. Those are great points.
One thing I wanted to add was that know thyself as well. Like, know what you can handle, know what you do. Focus on your strengths and your but remember your weaknesses. And I've seen so many people, do this amazing Kickstarter with this wonderful first issue, and then 2 years later they're coming out with their second issue, and it's because they bit off more than they could chew, and they realized that maybe it was something that they should have taken more time on. And it's not to say limit yourself, but to know what you can do before you even go to Kickstarter to create your campaign, or anywhere to create your campaign. If there was that's what I think. If comic-centric crowdfunding becomes its own thing, will kill it, or at least put a damper on it. Is people not fulfilling or taking so long for that next part of that arc that they'll lose their audience in between and maybe sour people to the process.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Jay writes in, crowdfunding allows you to sell your back. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to say back stock, your stock catalog, whereas the comic shops only sell it for 1 week, or if you're lucky, you'll be on the shelf for 7 days. And he's right. And the thing is Charlie, like, it's funny because I've done 2 trades, and neither one of them have done exceptionally well. They've done okay, but on every subsequent campaign, I've sold another 10, 15, 20 copies of each one.
Yep.
And that's every campaign. It's just like, boom, they just keep selling. So I'm like, okay, if that keeps rolling along like that, I mean, it's fine. What is it? And then I don't know if you saw, he said the American Ninja is on point. Listen to him, people.
I just love that JD is here in spirit.
Yeah. And Tom corrected me on the numbers. I was guesstimating from memory, but I should have checked beforehand. So 237, 238. Yep.
But in 2020 it rolled over to 300 most of the months, so we're selling back to normalcy.
A lot of people learned about indie comics during the pandemic. We were one of them. We got a little late to the Kickstarter game, but
a little bit.
It's that moment in time where we were all kind of trapped really focused us and enabled us to do this, which was cool.
But it doesn't limit you. Just to say, it doesn't limit you. I think now is the best time to be on Kickstarter because the foundation's been set. And I think 3 years, to Tom's point, the 3 years that we had a major explosion on average campaigns, comic book specific campaigns, really highlighted to the fan base that if you really want something different, we've got it, right? And so people are looking now. So take advantage. I think Lucky 33 has a great opportunity right now to really take advantage of. You guys might be new, but it doesn't mean you can't roll off the backs of guys like Charlie Stickney, Pat Shan, Russell Novelty, JD, etc. Right? So you like how I did that?
Yeah. Right in there with the
not to mention Charlie. So Jay writes, the early adopters on Kickstarter have generated a fan base, or in other words, gained real estate. That will be harder for newer people coming on the platform to try and achieve those same results. We just, it's funny. We just proved that, right?
Maybe.
Can we,
No,
can we
I don't think
get
JD's
him
wrong.
on this time? Like in the casino? Can we just
while he's pulling spots? I want to see the game.
Yeah.
He's just on his phone anyway.
I don't think he's wrong, but I think it's a little overstated because I do think we just made the point. I think that there's a lot of I don't want to say it this way, but I can't think of another phrase because I'm drinking. Is coattail dragging. I think that anybody coming on today has the advantage because they are riding off of the successes of people like Pat Shan and so forth. So I think it's a good thing.
That's
what
I was going to say.
Big market too. A lot bigger market than I thought there would be. Like looking at, we were scared of doing a Kickstarter, and we thought it was like, kind of crazy and a little presumptuous of our own abilities. And then we started looking through Kickstarter for months and, backing comics and having them shipped to our house and just being like, you can just continuously run Kickstarters and you're just successful at them and people will buy them if the book is good, and you just have to make a good product and really care about it.
Not only that, sorry, but I was going to say that when it comes to like, the early adopters taking up real estate, like, having a fan base helps because then when you're funded, people, are more interested and they're more likely to back your project. But like, at least for me, when I was first going through Kickstarter this past year, backing books and prepping for our launch, like, it's really a campaign that sells it more than anything else. Like, if you have a solid campaign, like you can be, a Pat Shand or a JD, you could be a known name, or you could be a brand new person. But like, if your campaign looks dope and your art looks good, like, there's a good chance people are going to back it. And I think like what the early adopters have done is they've like created a situation where people trust Kickstarters on comics on Kickstarter, which I think is the bigger win. Because now, like, if you've backed a couple books and you get your books and they're good and you like what you're doing, like, you're more likely to just like back a random person because like, well, all my other comics came through, why wouldn't this one come through? You know what I mean? So I think that's what they've really done that we can really benefit from. If they've like established this culture where like people now trust their comics to come from Kickstarter. Yeah. So as long as we keep that trust going, we should be able to thrive. But I think
that's the key. It's keeping it going. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was pretty much done anyway.
No, that was very well said, Mo. Yeah.
And just trying to grow the community, just make it even larger. Because imagine now what I know some guys crunched some numbers a few months ago, and they were like, it's about 7,000 people, regular buyers who buy regularly from Kickstarter that keep these campaigns floating.
From comics?
Right? In comics, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And now imagine if that number was 14,000.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I mean by growing that community. So whenever you can bring somebody in, it's always better. So I think that's
hey, right. we got a heavy hitter in the comments there. MHR.
Yes,
hey, what's up, lady?
I love her. Says Mo and Alex are correct. The quality of your product and delivering are extremely important. Yes.
If you guys aren't reading the Boston Metaphysical Society, smack yourselves. Go buy the book.
Yes. She has a campaign coming up. She'll be on the show in a couple weeks.
There you go.
Right. I think another month. It's coming soon though. It's coming soon. So, but Damion, you got any? I know you shared some thoughts. You have any other thoughts on the question?
No, I think everybody's Mo put it the best. I think you don't offend anybody else. Just saying, like, he was very eloquent with it. So
yeah, there you go. Good job, Mo. But yeah, to answer the original question, I think there is a reason to do other things. Sometimes you want to do a toy, sometimes you want to do a shirt, sometimes you want to do all these other things, and it's a great way to get this stuff over. I mean, Rob Moltari, he's about to do his plush toy, And
he's doing it right now. It's live.
He's doing it right now, exactly.
Yeah.
So you can go check that one out. I mean, Rob was here last week.
Yeah, it was last week, I think.
Yeah, it was last week. Yeah, last week he was here. And I mean, you know, the toy looks incredible. So I mean, you know, I would encourage everyone to go get a copy.
It's giving me ideas. I'm like, wait, I want a toy.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, we have a toy maker right here, right now with us.
Who? Not the person looking behind him.
Yeah.
You see that monstrosity behind me right there? That's my 3D printer.
Oh, cool. We'll have to talk offline.
There you go.
Oh no, let's talk right now.
Look, I don't mind pimping Damion out. It's okay.
This Boston Metaphysical Society looks really cool, by the way. I just checked it out.
It is. It's a really fun, like
really cool.
Victorian steampunk-esque. Yeah, you're really gonna like it. I promise. My wife loves it.
Awesome.
And the cool tchotchkes that Madeline throws in there, like I think it was a metal bookmark with an airship on it last time. There's a couple other things. My wife is like all about the tchotchkes. So yeah,
that's so cool. Tchotchkes is like my favorite word, so I appreciate.
And my least favorite word.
Yeah, Corey doesn't like that I say it all the time.
I hate the spelling.
Wow. Okay, so Corey wasn't wrong.
For Corey, the young guy. Yeah, he is a salty one. Swag.
Yeah. So, Mr. Lanning, you want to answer your own question?
I do. My question was having a crowdfunder exclusively to comics a good idea is what I asked. And I honestly do not think that it is, because I think you're backing yourself into the same corner that comic book shops are doing. And now you're going to have to do toys and everything else like that. Whereas opposed to things like Indiegogo and Kickstarter, you say you like a game comes up. You like the game. You like that artwork from that game. Well, guess what? That creator also has a comic book that can come up too. And now you've rolled right into that. But if you're looking for crowdfunders that are just comic books, we're going right back into the niche market. Is that where we want to be?
That's a very good point.
That's what you have to ask yourself. Do we want to be back in that niche market, or do we want to be out there on the display floor? Do we want to be back on the racks in the drugstores? Do we want to be back on the shelves in the bookstores and the Walmarts and stuff like that? Because now we're forcing what we're using crowdfunding back into its corner. Why are we doing that?
Yeah, Michael's obviously as old as I am, because he mentioned pharmacies and convenience stores. So no, and that's why I think I mentioned earlier Zoop, right? You asked the question, and I said yes with Zoop, right? But remember what I said is that they were smart because they're not just comics; they're comics and comics adjacent. So that could be games, that could be right. That's where the difference is. Yeah.
No, but it's not though, is it? Because if you're saying comics adjacent, you're talking about toys. Are they doing different games and stuff like that? They're
doing games, puzzles, posters.
Is it all based on comics? Is my question.
Well, sure, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that's
like kind of like nerd culture stuff.
Yeah, and I think Tom nailed it right here. Is comics are naturally? Yeah, I think they're naturally niche.
But they are actually, that's absolutely true. But how did they get to be niche? Is your question? Is the thing? How did you end up getting a broader audience? It's not by being. How many people are going to the comic book stores not looking for a comic book?
Yeah,
is my point.
Yeah.
When I go to I go to a Walmart or a drugstore and I'm waiting in line, because think about it, that's the same thing as you're in the aisles and you buy something that you didn't go in there to buy.
Literally bought Marvel comics from Walmart just because I was standing in line before.
Because you were standing there. That's my point.
I see what you're saying. Like, okay.
What I'm saying.
Not only that, but
you back yourselves back into a corner. I feel like we're making the same mistakes if we go that route.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
Here's the thing about it, though. I could be completely wrong about that. I mean, logically speaking, how many times have you come across something? Well, logically, it shouldn't do that, but it does do that, right? And so that could be the case.
I mean, anecdotally,
we're opening up more. We're opening up more crowdfunders and crowdfunders that are comic-based crowdfunders, and so now we're opening up competitions against ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, what good is that going to do?
Yeah, I think splitting was my fear initially, was splitting the fan base, because then if you go to Kickstarter, you scroll through Kickstarter, and that's the only place you're going to where you want to back books.
Right.
That's an ecosystem that is kind of contained. when there's all these different various, like you said, like I don't back books on or what was it? Not GoFundMe, but the other one.
Indiegogo.
Indiegogo. Yeah, there are certain people who just like they're not going to go to that website, and I think it's coming off of the heels of companies that were like, we're going to print just comic books and we're going to deliver just Kickstarter items, and that's what our focus is. And those companies were really successful because there was a real need for those companies, and then companies like Crowdfunding are like, let me do that too. I don't know, I could be wrong as well.
Well, Crowdfunding does offer something unique and different. They like their payment system goes directly to you.
Right. It's kind of like the regular crowdfunder.
I don't know.
Like medical
GoFundMe
stuff. Yeah, GoFundMe. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I mean the money goes directly to the creator. Now, I thought that was really interesting. The difference is with competition will come, new ideas, innovation, exactly, new ideas, just new systems that can be put in place, which is interesting, and will hopefully make Kickstarter a better place to do your stuff. Because I'm waiting for them to open up a store, right? I'm waiting for them to do some of these other things. They do the add-ons now, which I think is a huge plus.
And for the love of God, can we get the fucking, excuse my French, add-ons so that you don't have to cancel your pledge to just add something on? Can I just go back and change it and add something on?
Yeah,
right?
Annoying. That's
what I love about Zoop. Like, that was one of the first things that said, okay, I'm going to get in because not only do I see all the reward tiers and I can pick more than one, but right under that, as soon as I pick them, and I can, before I even pick, I can see all the add-ons that are available. So I can make my mental decision and go, I'm going to shop like I shop. You walk through the store and you go, oh, I need some eggs. I need some bread. I need some cinnamon. I need some butter. I need some sugar. Bam, French toast, baby. So, you can go and French toast your whole campaign, right? And that's the nice thing about Zoop. Now, the downside to Zoop, and I've been on it, so I'm just going to, and I'm a fan, but is that both as creator and backer is that Zoop is small. Right. And because, to Michael's point earlier, because they're only niche, they're only comics, their market is still extremely small, and it's not going to grow as rapidly as Kickstarter, because Kickstarter did every damn thing under the sun. Oh, I got my own cereal. So you can put that on Kickstarter. Unless your cereal has capes, you're not putting it on Zoop. And so that's the big difference. But I do like what Tom said here about no gatekeeping. Is we have so many options now. Everybody on this panel and everybody watching who's thinking about doing a crowdfunding thing in Indie Comics, guess what? You're in the golden age of Indie Comics because you've never had more options ever. Before you had to try to fight with everything in freaking previews, and good luck if Diamond even took your phone calls. And JD and I have both been in Diamond, and it's just it's hard, and it's just as hard now as it was 15 years ago. And it's painful, but now you can say, F it, I'm just going to go on some crowdfunding platform and do my thing. And as long as you have a good marketing program mentally planned out, a good plan for how you're going to distribute your books, and a good honest path to get out there, you'll be fine, right? So
can I make a point here?
Yeah, please do, because I talk too damn much.
Tom, I'm not against Kickstarter. That was my whole point, is actually I'm buying for Kickstarter. Is my whole thing. What you're asking, what I'm saying as far as competition, yeah, you have competition out there. Your competition with somebody else, or whatever the case is. But now I'm going to have to pick a Zoop, Crowdfunder, or whatever other comic-funded crowdfunder out there, and try to convince my audience out there to go to these crowdfunding sites that aren't established. When I could just say Kickstarter or Indiegogo, and people automatically know what that is. That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
I think it's also literally anything. I think it's also okay to kind of float back and see where the winds take you. And listen, if some of these end up being the big hitters, they'll show that they are, and that's where the audiences will go, and that's where the dollars will flow. And for us, the first thing that we ever did, we did like a crowdfunding of just friends and family. We just asked people that we knew if they would give us some money so we could make a book. And that expanded to Kickstarter, and that might expand to a more niche product. And I'm sure there are people who use these other, things and have extreme success because they've found kind of the tool that makes it work. And I think once that information becomes more available, like everyone's saying, competition is good. It's just kind of weird to be in the middle of these kind of, it's like when Netflix and Hulu and all these things were popping up when they first started. We're in kind of a fresh market now.
I want to point something Tom said in the comments. He says, like any other social media network, you just use the ones that work best for you and focus. I think that's a very good point. Like, if we find success on Kickstarter, you stay on Kickstarter and you build an audience there. You don't like do one Kickstarter, then one Indiegogo, and you bounce around, because then your audience is gonna be fragmented. You definitely want to like find the spot that works best for you and kind of stay there. And I like Kickstarter because it's more than just comics, because like it will draw people who weren't looking for comics to look at comics. When I first started going to Kickstarter, it was strictly for video games. I was backing like Mighty Number 9 and Bloodstained. Like, I was just like, if you were a comic book guy, a video game guy who left a big company to make an indie game, I was on your Kickstarter. And then from there, I was like, oh, they have comics on here. And then I started looking at the comics. Like, you definitely don't want to pigeonhole yourself on just a site that only does comics. But also, and JD was kind of saying this at the same time, it's a good thing that all of these sites are challenging Kickstarter, because then it'll make Kickstarter grow. So like, as much as I want to stay on Kickstarter personally, I'm glad all these other sites are here, because hopefully Kickstarter will learn some lessons and get better.
Hey, I was going to say what JD just said. Hey, why is Tom not on the show? What the hell? I mean, I can do without JD, but Tom, come on now.
I know. Yeah,
at least he's productive.
Exactly.
We appreciate the comments, Tom. It's very insightful, and I'm really digging it. Yeah.
Yes.
But I just would like to point out before we move on, everybody's saying Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Just saying.
Yeah.
So.
Right, but I mean, the thing here's also the other thing. I mean, Alex had pointed out that there are people who won't buy from Indiegogo, just like there are people who won't buy from Kickstarter. Yeah. So sometimes, there might be another platform that they might be willing to try out, right? And here's the other thing. We don't know who crowdfunder is going to attract in. We don't to grow the community. And here's what I say. I say do Kickstarter, and then all those other guys, those are secondary places to do another campaign.
Yeah, don't stop. Just don't stop with one place. No, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm. And Tom, Michael just took the words out of my mouth. Like, that's the thing, is there's nothing stopping you. Like, I put Milestone on Zoop, and I'll do the next one on Zoop. But nothing's stopping me from taking, say, the first volume of Milestone and putting the whole shebang on Kickstarter or Indiegogo or Crowdfunder or wherever the heck I want. Mm-hmm. Because to everyone's point is, if we invest in these platforms and the return comes back, we grow those platforms, which creates better competition, which makes Kickstarter, and it puts Kickstarter on alert. I will say this. Everett from Kickstarter, who just took over as CEO last year, has done a great job of being transparent, and his people are responding on on Twitter regularly about what they're doing. And I had a guy last week that commented on something, because me and one other creator had a thing about, why is it so damn hard to why do I have to recreate my add-ons every freaking time? Why can't I just import the ones from the last time? Mm-hmm. And one of the developers got on and said, hey guys, just so you know, we're doing these things, no commitment on time, but we're trying to get low-hanging fruit first, but these are on the roadmap. And I thought that's fantastic, because 2 years ago, Kickstarter never would have said squat about what they're doing. Yeah. And it was you were there for them, not they were there for you, and that's changed. And I think some of that's come because we got competition with BackerKit and Zoop and even Crowdfunder. Although I'm not sure Crowdfunder is going to survive, but I mean that's just my perspective. I could be wrong, and we'll find out in 3 years. But
and I'd say like most of them are taking a much bigger risk with these plays than we are with our little comic books. So they must know something we don't, and maybe they're right.
Yeah. Ryan says that's called brand loyalty. People stick with what they know. They can trust Pepsi versus Coke versus CVS. People are creatures of habit. Well, of course, yes, this is true. And I just wanted to pop this one up. Hold on. Tom and I are going to have our own show on Sundays because Calderon never invites us. There you go. Just the ingratitude. Hey,
go pull some slots and be quiet, JD.
People dump on Ross Ritchie bringing Berserker and Power Rangers to Kickstarter, but that signed up tons of people to the platform. None of the other platforms had that high level of sign.
That Power Rangers Kickstarter ruled too. So that was solid. Kickstarter.
Hey, and I'm a berserker backer. I backed Irredeemable. And I'll tell you what, I have no problem with Boom and IDW and those guys being on there because JD said it right. They're bringing attention to my books.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah,
so now,
so you get a successful. Let's say you get a successful Kickstarter, then take it over to Zoop if you want to try to build that one up. Sure, that's fine. I think. Don't get me wrong. I am more than happy to see a crowdfunder succeed. That's comics based. Absolutely. I'm just questioning and marketing skills. Is that actually a good business plan? Is my point.
Well,
because we've seen it happen. Like you said, you and I both remember when there used to be, and I'm sure JD kind of remembers some stuff. He's getting old, he's forgetting. But
this is true. But I know one thing I won't forget. I won't forget that shot. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. By the way, Russ is dropping some dimes in the comments too. So yes, Russ, thank you for the correction there. On I forgot it was part of the fundraiser. Go ahead, Michael. Sorry.
No, but but we've seen it hurt it, right? We've seen it hurt it out of the normal places where you could go. Because I've said many times before, I grew up in a place where the comic book shops didn't survive. Period. You had a comic book shop for 6 months and it was gone. And no, you weren't getting your hands on comics. Yeah, it's sad, but that's how it is. And so when you have these niche comic book shops and that's the only place that you can get it, that it just seems like the same thing. Not to repeat myself, but use Kickstarter and then push it to the other guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting them down whatsoever.
Exactly. I think actually adding to your point, I think Kickstarter would be a good place to start because it's so broad. And then if you have success there, then you go niche. But I don't think you should do it at the same, like running congruent campaigns. That'd just be too much to manage and all that.
Yeah. I also feel like that's an integrity issue. I'm not criticizing anybody who does that, but I just, as a backer, because I'm a super backer, whatever that means, right?
Spend too much money.
That's exactly what that means, actually. So you be quiet over there, Court. Alex. But no, I see when I see a campaign that runs simultaneously on two different platforms, I question everything. Honestly, it makes me really concerned as a backer. And again, I'm not saying about anything about anybody because I don't want to call it anybody's integrity without actually having experience. But I just look at that and I question, well, why do I have Indiegogo perks here and I get Kickstarter perks here, but I can't get both? And why are you hurting me as a backer or forcing me to make a decision or double up? I mean, is it really a money play? What's going on here? And so stuff like that really bothers me. And that's just me personally. But so I can't do it. And I won't do it. Oh, there's Tom.
Charlie, you asked and here he is.
What's up, brother? See, that's what's up. Now we're live.
What's up, Tom? How you been?
Oh my God, guys! I was totally joking about the link, guys. I was just giving you all a hard time. I came in a little bit, just a little late, and it was a great conversation. So,
there he is.
It's awesome. I appreciate it.
Glad to have you, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, a lot's been said. I think the only thing, just really quickly, Russ just said, that you can be successful anywhere, and that's generally true. Except that here's the trick, and this is the thing that we all got to really think about. Why is Indiegogo and Kickstarter the ones? It's because they have traffic. They have existing built-in traffic already. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to go to somewhere else, like let's say Crowdfunder, it's not to say that they don't have necessarily a really good platform to use and really great tools and so on, but they don't have the traffic that just the general eyeballs. So if you're going to go there and use that as any sort of a focal point for what you're doing, you have to bring all of your people there because there's fewer people just hanging out there to begin with. On Kickstarter, every time I do a Kickstarter, I get new people every single time. So I get my people that I drag, plus there's people that just find me however it is they find me. So that's sort of the trick. Yes, any platform can work. And in fact, there's some stuff on Crowdfunder that's done really, really well, but it's clear that those were guys and gals that dragged their existing audience over there. They're like, hey, we are on Crowdfunder. This is where you get this book. Come and get it right here, and this is it. And they did really well. But again, they had that existing audience to drag in because they were, webcomic guys, things like that. And they were like, well, here, we're making a physical book of our webcomic. Yeah. It's here. Come get it.
Yeah. And that's a great point that Tom brings up is too much is made of the platform, and not enough is made of the relationships you build. Now, when you're new, the platform absolutely matters, I think, to some extent, because like Tom said, you've got with Kickstarter and Indiegogo, you've got a built-in audience waiting. They're literally drooling for the next comic, right? So, hey, Nerd William.
What's up, Nerd William?
But so if you're new and you're out there and you're hoping, you're not sure what your audience is. One, you had a bad business plan, but two, you start with something like Kickstarter or a crowd or Indiegogo because you have a higher chance of success with just general traffic, right? And I think that's where it comes down to is, I was able to, even with my success, I was able to go to Zoop, and while struggling, it funded. It's not the same, right? I did not have that ancillary audience that Tom was talking about that just happened to find my stuff. I did not have that extra 10 to 15% new backers pop in. Damn, JD just took the exact number out of my head. Done. I'm shutting up because I can't obviously. Yeah.
Well, no. What I'm hearing though is if you're going to go to these other sites, which is perfectly fine, you're going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You need a mailing list, and if you don't have one started, you better start one now. And you need. That. Yeah, and
there's no guarantee. Like Ryan said earlier, there's no guarantee they're going to come. Like even the people that follow you regularly, if you're on Kickstarter and they're like, "I like Kickstarter, and this is what I know," and you're like, "Well, guys, we're going to move this over to somewhere else." There's no guarantee they go there.
Yeah.
Right. No, I know guys who are on my campaign who said I won't back. Actually, when I went to Zoop, I had 2 or 3 backers who messaged me and said, "I can't back your campaign. I'm not going to move to another platform. When you bring it to Kickstarter, I'll back it there." Yep. And it's easy to get personally, but it's not a personal. That's just what they would want. That's what they know, right?
Yeah.
So, and there are religious arguments for IGG or Kickstarter that people won't do one or will do the other or whatever.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Well, with IGG, some people prefer IGG because it takes out your money right then and there. Yeah. Right, as opposed to Kickstarter, you wait to the end and then they give you that 2-week grace period. Right.
Yeah. Figure out when payday is.
Right. And then Crowdfunder, some people, I thought theirs was really interesting because it goes right into your account.
Yeah.
Direct line, which I thought that was the most enticing thing what they're putting out.
Yeah. Then the problem with both of those is the add-on situation, right? Like you can add on initially, like at that one time, but if you come back in and you're like, oh, I want to get something else, you can still do it. But now you have extra shipping costs being put onto it. Like there's no, that's the one thing that Kickstarter has kind of figured out is even though their add-on system is not perfect, it does have that thing where you can come back in and readjust because you haven't paid yet. And get it right and be like, okay, now the campaign's done. I know what I'm getting. Here's my money. So again, every one of these platforms has a plus and a minus to it. And if they all kind of looked at each other, someone could probably figure out how to do it almost 100% perfect, but they still they still run their own ways. But again, it's platform usability is key, but eyeballs is always number one key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true, very true. All right, listen, normally this would be Damien's time, but Damian, we're gonna have to hold on because I want to do the campaigns real quick.
Sorry, Damian.
Sorry, Damian.
That was all.
Suck fun.
Yeah, it's out of my hands. I didn't have a lot to do with it.
That was all Steve Michael's fault.
Oh, thanks, Corey.
It's mine.
Yep. So, gentlemen, I got 3 of you here. Talk.
Yeah.
So, Riggs, take it away.
Yeah, Max Axel on the Wild Circuit is the book we have right up now on Kickstarter. It kind of came together really fast and seemingly out of nowhere. Our artist, Josh, just on one of the calls came up and was like, yeah, I'd love to do another book. After our other book, we had done 2 issues of New Luminaries. And he was like, yeah, it'd be so great if someone, paid us to do another book. And all I heard was, wouldn't it be great if we did another book? So I sat in a room, came up with 5 ideas as fast as I could, called Alex, and he combined 3 of those ideas, and we got Max Axel in the Wild Circuit. I wanted to do a racing comic, kind of like Hydro Thunder or Speed Racer. Alex is a huge Speed Racer fan. But if you start at the top, we have a video that Josh animated that is just the whole really thing cool. In a nutshell.
Yeah.
Hold on. All right, so I'm gonna play the video then.
Yeah.
Just to ask you a quick question. Have you guys seen Redline?
Yes.
Yeah. He made us watch Redline.
It was homework.
We pitched him this comic.
Yeah.
He was like,
homework.
"Hey, how do you feel like?" And you'll see Redline in this animation.
All right. Give me a second.
Yeah, nice. I mean, we wanted to do a fun one-shot comic, standalone, that was just fast and fun, and furious.
Hey, you got my applause when I saw the insert coin. I was like, woohoo!
Yeah, right?
Pole position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. So this is just going to be a one-shot? Do you plan to, do you have any thoughts about maybe doing further issues?
So there are some plans, not for further issues. There are plans to do other things with some of this. We have a lot of ideas around some of the characters and stuff. I don't know if we'll ever do another Max Axel book, but we'll see. If people really like it and they want another one, we might have to give it to them.
This is straight out of Wacky Races, man.
Right? Yeah,
I mean, Wacky Races was a big.
Yeah, I grew up.
Influences.
Speed Racer and Wacky Races is kind of the influences from my end on this. I was a huge Wacky Races.
Exactly.
You got to do issue 2 and just put another car in, and then put another car in.
Yeah. So technically, the Wild Circuit is one race, and there should be other races in this universe. So if we were to do a sequel, it'd be Max Axel and the
F-Zero. Nice. Yeah, I love that game. Oh my god.
That was another one, and Hydro Thunder and Mario Kart.
Yep. Well, I mean, they did do Cannonball Run. They did Cannonball Run 2. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And we came up with these 2 little announcer guys, Roger and Richard, during the process. We were trying to figure out, what the racers looked like, what the conversation was. Riggs had brought up that, jet fighter pilots, they talk to each other in movies.
In movies,
yeah.
So jet fighters in real life, there's one in a plane. But I was watching a jet fighter review scenes in movies, and he was like, "No, they always put 2 of us because it's more interesting to have dialogue, so that you can be like, oh, there's a missile." And we wanted to add a little of that into the comic.
Yeah,
so
Goose
initially
Maverick,
we
right?
were going to have 2 racers a car. And our artist was like, that can't happen.
Please don't do that to me.
The only holdover from that are the Chameleon Twins. They were, because that only holdover from that era when every race car was going to have either 2 drivers or a driver and a pit man or something.
Yeah.
That's another Wacky Races thing, like Dick Dastardly, Muttley. A lot of those cars had 2 characters in them.
Right.
So.
Right. No, it's really cool. So, I mean, so this is just what? This is your 3rd book?
Yes. This is our third that we created. We technically republished the first issue of Astronaut High Schooler that JR did. We're going to be working on the rest of that series with him. But these are the three that we had our hands on: Wild Circuit, and then our first two books were the New Luminaries 1 and 2, which are superhero stories with video games and D&D and Japanese culture kind of infused in it.
Nice. Very nice, very nice. Well, you guys already made your goal, so you guys are well on your way.
Yes, we are hoping. We're hoping to keep going. I'm really excited to get this book and all this stuff, all these tchotchkes in everybody's hands. So it should be good.
Swag.
Yes.
So, what is it? What is this? What's this one? This is a cassette tape.
Yeah. So one of the things that we did while we were working on this, Josh is a musician as well. Our artist is a musician as well, and he had made a playlist on Spotify of a bunch of different tracks that were, reminiscent of racing, or there's a band called The Midnight that's a lot of driving songs, and we'd been listening to it a lot when we were coming up with this. And he started making some demos of songs for this specifically, just as like a fun exercise. And we were like, what if we just make an album as well? So anyone who backs this, I think from the $10 or $15 tier up, will get a digital version of the soundtrack, which is at least 10 songs so far. Might be a couple more. And then when we hit this stretch goal, hopefully we're going to do a limited run of 25 cassette tapes. And one of the things that we tried to do with all of the tchotchkes in this was make them themed around cars. So we thought that the 90s cassette tape in the Max Axel truck vibe was fun. Vinyl is extremely expensive.
So we weren't going to press record. And that wasn't going to happen.
We have like a keychain for your car. We have a bumper sticker. We have a window decal. We have an air freshener. So it's all like, car themed stuff. And we think it'll be a fun package for people.
Very nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you guys are doing great. You got another 23 days.
And you're 200% funded. I mean, dude.
Yeah.
We got some time, and hopefully we'll, hit some higher numbers, and we can add some more silly stuff for people to enjoy, and do more books.
You gotta put a stretch goal that if you make double you're easily gonna make double, I think. But if you make double your money, then you'll make another issue. That's the ultimate stretch goal.
So our next stretch goal, which I won't give away exactly, but it is along those lines. It's a little different, but it's another book of types. So if we hit that, that'd be great, because I want to see it done.
Gotcha. Nice. What's up, Max?
I like that profile picture.
For real.
Look. Now here's something we got here.
What's this? Oh, that's just a little something.
Little something.
Awesome.
Do you want me to play the video?
There's no video. I was just messing with you. I don't do videos. It's funny because somebody else said something too. Why don't you have a video? I said, why do I need a video?
Yeah, clearly. I don't need a video.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Well, it's not that even. It's not like a. It's just I haven't found that videos really enhance the effect.
I mean, I've seen your stuff, so
thanks, man. No,
I think it's important for people that are new, that people don't know who the heck you are, to like kind of introduce yourself. Like, this is what I'm doing. But once you've been doing it for a while, the video just kind of it's just there. It's not really.
Yeah, and I say that, but like Pat, we were talking about Pat earlier, right? So Pat's got a video on his. I actually, to be honest with you, I haven't even watched his video. I have no idea what the hell's video is, but whatever.
I mean, we wouldn't have a video if our artist wasn't into animation. And
that was cool, man. I was sitting there watching that going, holy crap, that's really cool. So I was a little jealous. These are not just, but these are other indie creators who have thrown their books in. Russell Nolte and Daniel Calvin and a bunch of others who threw their books in.
You got some good people on here. This is
awesome. These are freebies. So if you back the book at digital level or higher, at some reward level or higher, you're getting those books. And Brian Hawkins just threw those 2 books in last week. So those are 2 bonus ones that get thrown in there. So you get 13 free digital comics with any reward level. So
that's awesome.
So one thing about my campaign that's a little different, you'll see here if you scroll down, is the first thing I do is actually introduce you to the team. And this is something I actually took from my Zoop campaign. I really love the fact that Zoop highlights the creators first. And I took that to heart, and I realized that most Kickstarter campaigns put all the creators at the bottom. Guys, this book does not happen without these guys and gals, in this case, all guys, on the book. And so I thought it was really important to highlight the creative team here first. These are my collaborators. These are my co-creators. These are the guys who make Spider Squirrel and all my books real. So without them, I'm just a shit writer who's sitting here looking at trying to do something and doing nothing with it because I have nothing. I can't draw. So I can't draw. I can't letter. So these guys make the book real. So anyway, just take that for what it is. You can follow suit or not. But I was real excited to highlight that DC came back. So DC Stolper did the first issue. So this is the trade paper I collected, first 3 issues. DC did the first 2 issues for me. And when the 3rd issue came around to get produced, the timing was right for everybody but DC. He had a conflict, a scheduling conflict. So I had to go with Ariel Medell, which is not a bad thing because I discovered Ariel, who did Evil Ernie. He's doing something for Fables and a couple other things now. But I found Ariel, and he did issue 3 for me, and now he's doing my God Quest featuring Milestone series. So this is not just any old collected edition. I went back and I edited the book. I added at least 1 Oxford comma. There's a few new caption boxes. There's some color edits. There are some textual edits. So went back and it wasn't just a reprint. So we really reintroduced the book to everybody. If you did not back Spider Squirrel 1, 2, or 3, or did back Spider Squirrel 1, 2, and or 3, this is the launching point for all things Zion. So while I had the WatchGuard funded about 10 years ago successfully, and that's also in my universe, this is really the true launching point for everything I'm going to do. And this year we already have Rook, which is my first black and white non-superhero book coming out in the Zion universe. I also have The Fundamentals, which is my first big cosmic book. We also have Milestone, which I mentioned earlier. We did on Zoop, and it's available here if you want to check it out through either add-on or through one of the tiers, a couple of the tiers. All of the Zion universe is being born right here, right now, and kind of like Spider-Man in some ways, but even more so. Spider Squirrel is going to be ubiquitous, so there will not be a Zion Studios book without mention or background, comment or some kind of something with Spider Squirrel on it. And the Fundamentals, we have a fun thing that my artist did. The Fundamentals is my homage to Fantastic Four that's coming out this year. It's a one-shot, and one of the characters wears a shirt and has Trash Panda on it. And on the back of the shirt, it says, "The ladies love to take out the trash." And I was dying. I was like, that's the best nod to my characters ever. But the entire Zion universe published today is available in this Kickstarter. And there's a couple of Kickstarter exclusive sections that he's rolling through right now that you can get. Metal bookmarks, which seem to be really, really popular. I know I love them. I have about 250 of them in my house. Not all mine either. These are some from the Zoop campaign from Milestone God Quest, and including the Zoop exclusive. And we have trading cards. We have a 21 card set, either regular edition or holofoil or both.
Those are so awesome.
Thank you. Those are cool because from a fan perspective, they introduce you to a bunch of characters who have not been published yet and who aren't on the docket to be published. So it's a good time to kind of get in. Yeah, a little first appearance kind of introduction thing. Metal trading cards also from a Zoop campaign. All except for the exclusive one that I didn't put here. And the librarian. So the librarian is really important for 2 reasons. One, she's modeled after my wife, so don't get too excited for her because she's already taken. And 2, the librarian makes her first appearance in this trade paperback because, as I haven't mentioned yet, we did a 10-page epilogue to this trade paperback that is the first time these are appearing. So she shows up for the first time. It's a bridge between volume 1 and volume 2. But for those of you who don't want to buy both floppy and trade paperback, I will honestly say I'm not out for the money. If you don't buy the trade paperback, I am going to reprint the 10-page epilogue as a prologue to the second volume. So if you're just a floppy buyer, you'll get it either way. So I'm not going to punish anybody for not buying this, although I hope you buy this. I think we have some really cool stuff. And something I'm going to add tomorrow, and JD, you're getting exclusive, ladies and gentlemen. This just in.
Go for it.
Tomorrow, after we hit $6,500, I will introduce an add-on that is a pizza box. And for those of you who've read the book from the first issue, you understand what the pizza box is all about. There's a pizza box that I'm going to provide that is a custom box to put your trade paperback and a couple of floppies in, or maybe some tchotchkes or swag or whatever you want to call it. It'll ship in the pizza box inside of another box where the pizza box is preserved, so that you can have your no pineapple pizza with your Spider Squirrel trade paperback. So there you go. That is going to be an add-on. It's going to be $5, no extra shipping. So that is that I'm just announcing this right now.
That's really fun.
That's dope.
That's really fun. As a former pizza delivery guy for so many
all of
years,
us at Lucky 33,
all three of us.
I appreciate that.
Cheers, brother.
I'm gonna wait till that comes out so I can add it on.
Yeah, well, you can jump in and help get us to that number, and then you can add it on.
Oh yeah, there you go. Let's do that right now. There we go.
And I will say this: if you have backed at the highest tier, the signed and numbered book plate, then you'll get the pizza box at no charge once we hit $6,500.
Nice. All right, very nice. I mean, listen, you've done a bunch of campaigns at this point, right? How many campaigns are you looking? How many more campaigns are you looking to do this year?
If all the cards hold well and I don't fold, then I'm looking at a minimum of 4 campaigns this year. So possibly as many as 6. So I've got Spider Squirrel Titan-sized annual coming out, which is going to be over 100 pages, perfect bound, floppy, with the 24-page main story by Chris Campana and myself, and then a bunch of 4 to 8 page backup stories in an anthological walk through the Zion universe, introducing everybody to all of these different characters in my universe. Russell Nolte did a story with the Watch Guard. We got Kurt Melcher did a story. Tom Stillwell did a story with my Canadian characters. Chris Batista did art for one of my Canadian superhero team, my Alpha Flight homage team. Yeah, I love Alpha Flight. So I have Les Superior coming out. Thank you. Right. So we got those in there. So we've got a bunch of different stories coming out. We also have Alpha Elite coming out, which is going to be it was originally a mini series. It's now going to be a one-shot. That's going to be a double-sized one-shot by Daniel Calderon, who did American Dreams, if you guys are familiar with that book from Band of Bards. I also have, I mentioned earlier, Rook, my black and white crime. It's like if you're a fan of The Punisher but don't want as much murder, then Rook is your book. Rook is written by Dan Faust, created by me, and is being drawn by Dexter Wee. And we're doing all black and white all the way through. It's beautiful. I got a gorgeous alternate cover from Marcus Jimenez. So that's going to be a great book. I think it's going to be really fun. It's a different take. Also talking to Travis Gibb about doing a pulp action hero book, which may not debut until next year. Yeah, Travis Gibb. So Travis, and also looking at maybe doing some horror stuff. So the Zion universe, we're not going to just be superheroes. That's the foundation. So that's what Spider Squirrel is. Milestone kind of brings us out from the superhero to the cosmic, and then from there we'll go into the fundamentals. And then from the ground level, we got Rook, and we've got Night Care, which is Scott Fogg's book, but it is set in the Zion universe, and Scott wrote the fundamentals for me. And then we also have, I mentioned Alpha Elite. He's like a Booster Gold type character, but he's much more of an asshole. You're really going to love to hate him. So I think you'll enjoy that book. It's a lot of fun. The guy has a lot of heart, but a lot of ego. And so those two are in conflict constantly. And we're going to redo my WatchGuard book with, I won't give you the creative team just yet, but we're going to redo that. And then DT Butchno did a 5-issue miniseries for me called Blue Chip and the New Team Force 5. And it's called Blue Chip and the New Team Force 5. And people go, well, where the hell is the original Team Force 5? I'm glad you asked. We also have a legacy one-shot of the original Team Force 5 that I created but never produced. So we're going to do a little one-shot in a kind of a reverse prequel kind of a thing. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to love that. And Oliver Castaneda is doing the art for that. So it's a blast, man. And we're having a good time. You should see at least 4 books from me this year on Kickstarter and or Zoop. But upwards of 6.
That's so awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Ambitious as hell, but and I'm broke. So just for the record, my lights are gonna cut out any minute now. So.
All right.
Oh,
very nice.
I can tease this. If you guys are familiar with Dean Haskell, who did The Fox and Red Hook, Belly Dogma, and a few other books, Dean Haskell's been around the block for quite a bit. Dean is a part of the Zion universe, and in that Titan-sized annual that I mentioned, Dean created a brand new character to introduce the weird side of the Zion universe. So Dean owns the character, but he's going to live in the Zion universe, and that's going to debut this year. And we're going to do some more with Dean coming soon too. So I think you're going to be excited about that.
All right, sounds good, man. Sounds incredible. Listen,
it's scintillating.
Yes. So listen, I mean, damn. I mean, you're looking to do 4 to 6. I'm looking to do 6 to 8. Tom, you're doing what? 4?
Don't ask how many.
See, Tom's lights are already out.
We do a minimum of 4 a year. The last couple of years we've done 6, and this year I think it's going to become 8. But a lot of them now are because what we're doing is over the past few years we've been doing these special day things. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but like every day is some sort of special day. Like there's National Princess Day, and there's Bikini Day, and there's all kinds of just weird days. So we started sort of adopting a lot of these days because everybody was doing like, oh, it's 4th of July and Christmas, and we're going to make comics for these. I'm just like, I'm so tired of that. So we started adopting these really strange days like Goth Day and things like that. And a fan of ours, as we've done a few of these things, a fan of ours was like, yeah, you need to do like BDI 365. And I'm like, what, you want to book every day of the year? And he's like, no. But like, you can do all these days and over time, you'll eventually have a story for every day of the year. And I was like, God damn it, Freddie, you put these things in my head. And so we officially are now announcing this year, BDI 365. And I think we've done like 4 so far over the past few years, but we now actually have an official logo brand for it. So a couple of these things, like the first one is actually going to air on Kickstarter as a single day thing. So April 1st is National Pillow Fight Day. So we're actually going to have a 1-day, 24-hour pillow fight campaign for this little mini story of our characters. And we've done this before. The first time we did it was National Bikini Day in 2020. So we did what was supposed to be a 24-hour campaign. It was like a Make 100 thing. We made 100 of these books. It was a 24-hour thing. I launched it in the morning. I hung around for about 20 minutes talking to the fans online. I went and did my walk for about an hour. And when I got back, all of them were gone. So the 24-hour campaign became a 1-hour campaign. I was like, God damn. All right. So there's something here to this. And so this year we're going to test it out. We're going to be dropping these 24-hour day things a few times during the year, in addition to our normal, like 3-week-long campaigns.
That's really cool.
Nice. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay.
It's gonna get weird. It's gonna get weird.
It's gonna get weird. And then, well, Max was in the chat for a little while, and Max is looking to do 12 campaigns this year. So.
Oh my God.
Not quite, but yes, he's busy too. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, we're all in there. We're all gonna get crazy. I mean, so Alex, Mo, Corey, how many campaigns are you guys looking to launch additionally this year, if any?
If we get one more in, that'd be really great.
1 or 2 more, maybe. I thought we
well, so I mean, theoretically, if everything goes to plan and we have, extra money and time and energy, and we can work with other artists and stuff, we would hope to speed up the process. our next one will be probably Astronaut High Schooler 2, which is a book that Josh is, heading. We're going to put it under the Lucky 33 banner and put it out. We've worked on it with him for a couple months now. It's really fun. That was originally his like kind of fun passion project, and we've been like, we got to just do this. It's too much fun. I think people will like it. It's goofy space giant monsters. You can't go wrong.
When we pitched him New Luminaries, he was like, I think I might have a book you'll like, and it was Astronaut High Schooler.
Yeah, so we were like, we really like this. Let's do it.
I have a question. Can I buy it now, or do I gotta wait for the next issue?
No, you can buy Astronaut High Schooler now. Yeah, if you wanted to just grab that one, that's on our website.
Drop the link so that JD can put it in the comments.
Yeah.
Please.
It's also part of the Max Axel Kickstarter currently. It's one of the add-ons, and it's in the tiers for the Max Axel Kickstarter, so you can get it there as well.
Yes.
See how he rolls? That's the way to do it, right?
This is why we have Mo. You gotta understand. Mo's good at this. I am not good at this.
Nice work.
I'm good at coming up with silly names.
All right. Marcus says everyone is cranking out so much this year. Looking to do 8 or 9 campaigns for Odyssey Comics.
Wow.
And losing what remains of my hair in the process.
Hey, it's okay. I'm still thick. You can do it.
Well, yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said 4 to 6, because I figure 6 to 8 I'll probably be bald, but we'll see.
I got the right angle right now, so you guys like.
Gotcha. All right. So look, we're back to our normal questions. Damion, you're up.
All right. So I was looking through my Facebook earlier today or yesterday, I can't remember which, and someone made a post saying that digital comics are dying.
Sorry.
I was looking at like, that's why I read it, because I'm like, huh? What? And I went into it, and the argument was that because Comixology is downsizing and Amazon's trying to Kindleize that whole process, and it's being locked into certain devices and potentially just closing out or edging out the viability of Amazon as a place to sell comics. Basically what they were saying was that that is maybe 8% of the comics made in North America today are on Comixology, and then the rest of that is Indie Comics. So how important of a role do you feel digital comics have?
So first off, digital comics for a Kickstarter are the lifeblood of a Kickstarter, because that reduces the amount of financial output for a creator. So look, I was telling my wife just this morning, I love digital backers because I don't have to ship anything. There's no logistics required behind it. I just got to make sure they get their digital stuff. And oh, by the way, if I add extras, I just ship it out to them via email, right? So digital comics are actually, I think they're thriving. And Global Comics is the most indie comics friendly platform I've ever used. And if you're not using Global Comics today, guys, gals, ladies, gentlemen, people, creatures, aliens, everyone else out there, freaking get on Global Comics today. Check out the cool junk that's out there. There's some really cool freaking books that are only on Global Comics. I'm telling you, digital comics are thriving. They're not dying. And so I think this is extremely myopic. And I'm sorry for whoever said that. I'm not dogging you. I'm just, because I don't know who you are. And if I knew who you were, I'll decide if I'm dogging you or not. But I think that's wrong. I think digital comics are thriving. And I think indie comics thrive in digital more than anything else. So long live digital comics. Comixology can die, and it's not going to hurt me one bit.
All right. Fair enough. Mo, what are you thinking?
I pretty much agree with everything Charlie said. I think that, Comixology is one site. It was the first big one, so everyone's going to look to that and try to use it as some kind of metric to, the health of digital comics, and that's just false. Like, as we were saying with Kickstarter, Indiegogo, there's so many other avenues that people can go for digital comics. And like when you look at kids today, they spend so much time on their phones, their smart devices, their tablets. That like they're not going to put that down and then pick up a physical book when they can just read what they want to read on the device they're already holding. So like, I don't see digital comics going anywhere as long as, smartphones, and the like stay as prolific as they are. So I don't really agree with that take. I think it's just, a little quick to judge just based on the status of one digital distributor.
All right. Fair enough. Alex, what are you thinking?
I think that I would be more worried about print if I wasn't in this ecosystem now. And I think that digital comics for a long time scared the pants off of print companies. And now we're in a happy medium where there are people who want the physical book that they can read, also will be cool with getting emailed a copy in advance and being able to just read through it and enjoy that. And then there are people who enjoy collecting digital comics. They have a place on whatever device that they use that they like to read comics. I mean, I for years I would only buy physical books, and over the last couple of months I've been using Marvel Unlimited and a couple of others because I've seen, people have emailed me digital comics from Kickstarters that I've backed or books that I've followed, and it's a viable option. The screens are shaped in the right size. It's easy to scroll. It's easy to read. I'm scared of webtoons personally. I'm scared of learning an entire new process of setting up panels and pages and stories and delivering, a consistent on a weekly schedule. That looks to me to be what the kids are into. And I want to translate to that as quick as possible while also retaining what we want from our own books. I don't want to make books like that, but I want people to be able to read our stuff like that. And, translating a webtoon into a physical comic or a physical comic into a webtoon is a whole different process than just making one or the other. So,
yeah. All right, that's cool. Corey, what are you thinking?
I mean, I would say I'm a convert to the digital comics because there was a time I'd absolutely say nah, not for me. Physical guy, I need it in my hands. But as Alex pointed out, getting all of this, all of these great books from Kickstarters first and foremost, but then from other avenues, and seeing what's out there. And would I buy this book physical? Probably not. Am I glad that I got this book digitally? 100%. So I think, and you can definitely throw me in this category a lot of the time. People love to be doomsayers. People love to be like, the sky is falling. And that sounds like one of those things.
All right, cool. Tom, what are your thoughts?
All right. Typically, I am the counter argument to all of things. Everybody knows hashtag Tom hates everything. So here we go. First of all, Corey, you're right. The doomsayer thing, it's tired. It's played out. Nothing's dying, guys. Everything adjusts, adapts, evolves. Comic books as a general market are adapting, evolving. They're becoming different things. Nothing is dying. The art form isn't going away. Digital is not going away. Digital is going to have to figure out its way. My thing with digital is that I have yet to really hear of any sort of, I don't know what you would call it, true sales for this stuff. When we see physical sales for comic books, there's a charts for this stuff. Hey, this book sold so many, this book sold so many, whatever. But no one ever tells us how many digital comics of Amazing Spider-Man 827 sold. So that kind of always interests me, right? It's because to me, in my mind, if it was a really big number that they were proud of, they'd be like, yo, we got 1 million downloads of Spider-Man. But no one ever tells us that there's a million.
But Tom, I think there's a real reason for that. Why Marvel and DC would never reveal those numbers is because they have these people they call writers and artists who are supposed to get royalties. They're never going to see a dime of that cash.
I'm not disagreeing. That's a possibility. But I'm just saying, no one is. I've heard nobody in the industry telling me that they are making a mint and buying their summer house off of digital comics.
Well, and there's another side of that too, is they give away so many digital comics too. I can't tell you the number of Marvel books that I buy. They're like, oh, look, you get the free digital. Okay. Yeah. And you know what I do? I give it to my friend because I don't need the digital. I just,
Right. So it's so for me, no, I don't think digital's going away. I think it also depends a lot on what this guy terms digital comics, because to me, a digital comic is like what we just talked about. You buy the comic, you get the digital version, or you're just buying the digital version, versus like what's happening on Webtoons, where people are actually making new content, because that's a completely different structure of stuff. If you're making something new and putting it online, that's not really, to me, a digital comic. So are digital comics failing? We don't know. Why? Because they don't tell us anything. But the idea that it's being downsized and restructured tells you a little bit of something. You can infer things from it. But you know, from the Big Dog Inc. side of things, we sell digital comics basically exclusively through Kickstarter. That's the only time we really offer them as things, especially because shipping to, like, you know, the UK is brutal and people don't want to spend $20 for shipping.
Australia.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. So we do it there, but we don't sell enough to make it like any sort of significant percentage of our sales. For us, we've cultivated a fan base that wants the physical book. Now, that doesn't mean they don't read the digital books, but they are there for the book itself, whether it's for the variant cover, whether they just like it in their hand to read it, whatever the reason is. So I think a lot of digital sales really have to come from, like we've talked about this whole thing, like which platform are you going to use, whatever. If someone's going to come out and just say, look, I'm going to make digital comics and that's it, you have to drive people to your digital comic. You've got guys doing stuff on Patreon. You've got all the dudes doing stuff over on Substack. But now even the stuff that's on Substack is now coming out and being printed in physical form. So it all kind of works together. I'm hyper skeptical about the true fan base and drive of comic book fans to digital. And like we were talking about with the kids with their phones, kids don't have credit cards. They're not buying. They can't go on there and I mean, some do obviously, but they're not going on there like, I'm going to spend $3 and buy myself a Spider-Man comic or whatever. Like that doesn't really happen. So you're kind of aiming digital comics at a slightly older crowd, at least probably 18, 19, because they have credit cards and ways to pay for things and, jobs and so on. So I'm interested in I don't have a conclusion for anybody here, but for me, digital is always going to be sort of that side thing until something happens to really make it go.
Well, and I think digital for all of us on this panel here is the gateway drug. I can't tell you the number of times I've been on the podcast, and even when I'm not running a live Kickstarter, I sell 2, 3, 4 digital copies of my book. And then I see they're returning as backers on Kickstarter. And so digital is absolutely a great gateway drug for all of our potential fandom. And I know some of us balk at the word fandom, like, oh, I don't have fans, I have readers. Stop it. If they read your freaking book and they buy another one, they're a fan. So just suck it up and just enjoy the moment, right? And so, I think that's digital is a great option because it's less expensive, it's less intrusive, it's doesn't require shipping, it doesn't require extra cost for the backer. In fact, it's usually a reduced cost for the backer or whomever, the purchaser, the reader, fan. Oh, I said the word fan. And so enjoy that. And I think Tom's right. I think the bulk of indie comics backers are from the US. And so they're going to buy a physical copy of your book. Maybe not the first time, right? They might back. So Lucky 33, this is your first, campaign with this particular thing. Most of your backers may be digital, right? That's this campaign.
Yeah.
But this campaign is already 200% funded. So you may consider doing a second related campaign, and you don't have to do the same thing, right? You can go from the world of, right? And that second campaign is loosely tied to or directly tied to what you're doing today. And you're going to get a large return. 75 to 85% of those backers may come back and rebuy back your book. But then the other 10 to 15% that you're not getting now are going to show up and go, oh, you got a digital. I want to check out the digital catch-up. So I'll buy the digital catch-up reward tier, get the first issue and get this new issue, see what you got. And when the third one comes up, by golly, I'm going to buy the whole darn thing in physical. And so you just don't know, right? So I think, Tom nailed it. I think, that Digital is a great way to go. If you can get on Webtoons, I'm not, for the record, currently. I'm not saying I won't be, but I'm not currently on Webtoons. But if I get on Webtoons, it'll be for the strict purpose of building an audience. And that's all of those things. And whether it's Kickstarter, whether it's Indiegogo, whatever platform like we talked about, I think you guys, keep your eyes open, keep your minds open, and try something new every time. And honestly, publishing a book on Webtoons doesn't cost you a dang thing, but time. And what we indie creators all have, obviously, is time, because we're creating freaking comic books. So, so think about that. And I know it's a fallacy to say digital's dying. Digital's doing anything but dying.
Yep. Charlie, you gotta go?
No, I'm good actually.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
I mean, I gotta get up at 3:30 in the morning to fly to Vegas, but I'm fine.
Well, you'll be on vacation then, so it's okay.
It's not vacation, brother. I wish it was.
Oh. All right.
It's work.
I thought it was vacation. Sorry.
No, it's work. It's work.
All right. What is it? Jay says, as for digital comics, don't worry about it getting stolen or needing a watermark. Your comics being pirated.
Yeah,
listen, let me tell you
this. Please just read my books. Please just read my books. You want them for free? I'll send them to you.
If
read them.
Yeah, for real.
If I got money for every time my book was torrented, I would be able to buy that boat. I'll tell you that right now, because I actually have Google alerts or whatever for this kind of stuff. And every day I'm getting these alerts of like, this shit is on a torrent. This is on a torrent. This is like
the dream of mine.
Oh my God.
Steal my shit.
Oh my God. And a friend of mine basically, and I got really upset about this early on because we've been torrented really almost since the beginning. And a friend of mine was like, look, man, you can spend all your time chasing these guys down, getting it pulled. And then all that's going to happen is a mirror site is going to pop up and it's going to be up again. Or you can just accept that people are at least reading it, hopefully in some context. And if they do decide they like it, then maybe they'll come find you in a different capacity. And it was really hard for me to like swallow that and be like, dude, but
you just got to start you got to put ads in the middle of them. In the middle of your PDF.
There you go.
Maybe some merchandising or something, right?
Exactly. So they'll come by it.
Spaceballs, merchandising.
Exactly. Daphne says, what's the Venn diagram between people who say something is dying and the people who coincidentally failed at the exact same thing?
It's just a circle,
Daphne just tripped over the reality stone right there.
Yep. Jay adds, Webtoons made over 800 million last year, but that is because the comic tech culture are vastly different, more accessible and acceptable than here in the States. I mean, it's interesting that they made $800 million, and how much of that $800 million went back to the creators? Because as far as I'm concerned, I mean, you guys put up a platform, but you guys aren't really the creatives, right?
Well, isn't Webtoons like any of these other social things? You have to have some sort of engagement levels to get any sort of payment or whatever.
Yeah,
you have to have 10,000 viewers plus per month, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, but when it hits $800 million, that's a lot of money. You can spread some of that could be spread around.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's also, and then you have to take into consideration the most popular things are Korean made comics and stuff.
Right.
For sure.
So,
right.
You're talking about a whole country that kind of bears down on that, right? So,
yeah.
To that point, is there any? We talked about piracy, and we were celebrating like how much if my books were pirated as much as I wish they were. That means people are reading them. Same with Webtoons. That's just illegal piracy. Let's just be honest with you, right? So, the more eyes in your book, the better when you go to a campaign. And to the point we've made is that we still have a culture in the U.S. that likes physical.
Yeah.
So use webcomics to your advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for myself, I've done campaigns where 54% of the campaign was digital. So, and what that does is I'm like, look, I wish I had 1,000 of them, right? Because I send out a PDF.
Your job's done. Yeah.
Right. I don't have to, I don't have to pack books. I don't have to sign books and all that stuff. And it gives you, it's always giving me a nice cushion so that I'm only spending X amount on physical. And I have this nice cushion of cash that's left over, to feed to my artists because that's what I do with all my money.
Yeah.
So let's do a little test here. Big Dog Inc. is on Global Comics, and guess what, guys? The volume 1 for almost all of our books, not issue 1, volume 1 is free to read on Global Comics. Let's go see how many free reader pages we get over the next week.
There you go. You're gonna get one right now.
Nice. I guess it's funny. I think I'm up. So here, I got another question for you guys. This isn't even a question for me. This question comes from my wife, Daphne, through her show, through another fan called Jake Tevester, who pops in every now and again.
But I don't see answered.
What?
No, he just because I took the hat off and I put it back on, so it really threw him off. That's what the whole.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, he did take off the hat. Go ahead, Steve. Answer the question.
No, I think everybody answered perfectly well. Although Tom brought up a really good point that I didn't think about before is the target audience for digital comics. He's absolutely right because kids aren't going buying these digital comics and everything. So the target audience is going to be people who grew up reading comics in the first place. So I kind of wonder if that's figured into their marketing schemes or whatever the case is. But I don't think it's necessarily dying. Comixology and Amazon just didn't know how to handle that. I think that's just why it fell through. So
yeah.
Let's hope not, right? Because like he said, you could send off 54% of your campaign that way and save on shipping. So
here you go, Tom. Here's one from you, buddy. Tom doesn't bring up good points. He hates people.
That's right.
There's a hashtag for you.
That's right. Spread it around. Yes.
Nice. So, Damion, answer your own question before we move
on. Digital's not going anywhere. It's that's it. I am, and I fully admit it, and I'll take whatever guff I got to get for it. My name's Damion, and I buy mainstream comics. I do. I'm sorry, but
me too.
I only buy digital. If it's Marvel, DC, or anybody in the lists, I only buy them digital. I only buy print indie books. They're the only books that I buy that I want to have a physical copy of, and almost all of them come with digital. Here's the trick. You can, I think it's through Kindle. If you just do a search for this, you'll find the method. You can email yourself your digital comics to your Kindle, so you don't have to just read them like on your computer or pull up the thing on your phone. You can just send them straight to Kindle. That you have an email address at Amazon, so you just have to go on your account, look that up, and then I read the first trade of the Oswald Chronicles on my Kindle, just being able to straight up, and it's in my library with all my other comics, and it's all there. Awesome. So, I mean, digital's not going anywhere. And to clarify, I will say the person in question was agreeing with that. They just saw this and were like, "What?" And I went,
"Yeah."
Let me tell you how much I hate digital comics. I hate digital comics so much that I hate reading my own comics on my computer to edit them, through. It's like, I don't want, can I just get a paper copy of this, please? I hate it so much.
Hashtag Tom hates everything.
That's right. Keep it going.
My wife will not read our books until I hand her a physical version. And she would, if I try to show her art or process or she's like, do you know what I want to see? I want to see when it's done so I can just read it and enjoy it. I'm
amazing.
like, fine, I'll leave you alone. And it's great because she's always like, wow, this is really good. I didn't know you could do this. I'm like, thanks, honey.
I do the same, Alex. I get my book back from my editor, and then I print it out on my printer, and I hand it to my wife, and I go, "Hey, can you read this?" Which is why I added an Oxford comma. There
you go.
Nice. All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna actually save Jake's question for next week because it's a bit long and it's a bit involved. So I'm gonna ask everybody. I'm gonna softball everyone with this one. Do you read comics regularly outside of Marvel and DC and Image? And if you do, what books do you read? So what indie comics do you guys read regularly? That's what I'm asking.
Right? Anything from Pat Chan, Charlie Stickney, Scout Comics for the most part, depends on the books. I read Stray from Vito Del Sante and Action Lab. Yeah, I read a lot of indie stuff. I love Berserker from Boom. I don't care what anybody says about me. You can hate me all you want. I enjoy the hell out of that book. I think it's cool. I'm looking forward to the movie. I'm reading the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers versus TMNT. That's a cool series. I don't even like Power Rangers. That's a cool book. And oh my God, Klaus from Grant Morrison and Dan Mora. That book is so good. Anyway, so there you go. There's my series.
All right, cool. Mo, what do you got?
So outside of Marvel, DC, Image, I'm actually getting back in indie comics now. I picked up a bunch of stuff on Kickstarter from David Cook, Pat Shand, a couple other artists. Cause I was mostly doing I've been getting the manga recently. I was reading a lot of My Hero Academia, and that kind of stuff. So I'm getting back into the Western indie comic front on that end, mostly through Kickstarter. I got a couple of books near me. Actually, I can pull one up that I got in the mail a few weeks ago. Actually, let me grab it real quick.
I didn't even mention the manga I'm reading. So Mo, don't even get me on start on that list. Kaiju number 8. If you're not reading that manga, you don't know what you're missing.
I heard that's really good.
It's so good, and it's only on the 4th volume. So get it now.
So that's what I'm doing right now. It's mostly a lot of Kickstarter indie stuff. So,
all right, cool. Alex, what do you got?
Like Charlie, I've been reading the Boom Power Ranger stuff since the beginning. I mean, I'm a huge Power Rangers guy, and I have the first 3 trades, and then our town library has 3 separate sections of comic books. They have an adult comic book section, a teen comic book section, and then a kids comic book section. So every time we go, me and my son just raid the place. And there's the limit is 75 books. So we walk out there both just. So yeah, I've been reading all the Boom stuff. We've been reading a couple of no, this is kid stuff, but the Dogman, Captain Underpants series. Yep. That stuff blows my mind. I mean, I really want to get into writing that kind of stuff because I have kids that are younger and I want to write stuff towards their age. But some of that, it's just brilliant. The creativity oozes from those books, and I'm always really impressed by what he does.
All right. Nice. Corey, what do you think?
Books I'm obsessed with right now are Wind, Jonah and the Impossible Monsters, Orcs, and from Indie Comics, I got Blood Force Trauma by Jake Smith. That is just a really
awesome,
exciting book.
Awesome.
I got the Tales of Tall, a Neanderthal book, which is really cool, and Rum Row, which I haven't read yet, but looking really forward to.
All right, cool. Tom, what are you reading?
This is where I'm the anti guy. I don't read comics, man. No, I'm kidding.
Tom hates
everything. There you go.
I ditched Marvel and DC nearly a decade ago. I haven't really looked back other than a couple of random times. So yeah, I'm mostly just indie stuff. But even then, it's my local comic book store is 45 minutes away. There's no regularity to anything that I do. So a lot of times I wait for stuff that comes out on trade paperback, just so I can get the whole story at once and I'm not struggling to find an issue. But a lot of the stuff that I've been doing is Kickstarter based. I'll pick up stuff that even if it's not trade paperback, but like Wes Hartman just put out his trade paperback for Savage Sasquatch. Gosh, what else was there? Oh, there's a Western called The Few and the Cursed, which is really good, that the trade paperback came out not long ago. If you guys like manga, try out Common America. If you guys have heard of that.
Oh man, so cool.
Yeah, Common America is great.
So cool.
Love the stuff from Fearless Dawn from Steve Mannion and Asylum Press and Frank Forte and all those guys. Bill McKay just put out his first book, his first creator-owned book. He was a cover artist for years and years and years with Dan Mendoza and all kinds of guys, and with Big Dog Inc. too. But he put out his own actual book last year called Kim the Delusional. So I grabbed one of those. So I kind of pop around the Kickstarter realms. But then like you guys are all talking Power Rangers. I don't give a crap about the Power Rangers, but they did do a Power Rangers Godzilla book, and I'm all about Godzilla. So I'm like, all right, fine, I'll do this, and it ended up being pretty good. I was not disappointed. Well written, and the art was like really mind blowing. So,
art's so awesome.
It was great.
Hashtag Tom doesn't hate everything.
It should be Sans Godzilla. There you go.
By the way, I have fallen in love with the long title manga. I'm reading. I was born a space mercenary, and woke up at piloting the strongest ship in the galaxy, or something like that. And the other one I'm starting when I'm on my plane at 3:30 this morning is The Strange Adventures of a Broke Mercenary. So there's some really cool manga out there, and I'm really excited. And by the way, I'm writing a light novel that has a long title as well that's going to fit in the Zion universe. So we're having fun. It's a blast. There's so many options out there, guys. I mean, guys, gals, whatever you like, whether it's like, LGBTQI, whether it's, guy on guy, whether it's superhero or mystic, whether it's horror, there's so many great indie and manga books out there. I read Marvel and DC, admittedly, but most of my books are like Shang-Chi and Moon Knight and almost indie-like, Moon
Knight is like the indie super. I mean, not really anymore because of the show, but man, he's my favorite. He's always.
I would love what Jed McKay's doing. It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's funny all the long title things have sort of come up in the last couple of years. Even in American comics, there's things with way longer titles than normal. And even I have one now. It's my shark book. It's called "It's Only an Island If You Look at It from the Water." So we're all doing it.
We only find them when they're
Charlie
dead.
Stickney has what is it? How I Slept My Way Through College or something like that. It's even longer than that. So yeah.
We were fighting for a while over whether or not we were going to make it pretty like more clear that the full title is Lucky 33 presents Max Axel and the Wild Circuit, and we were like, we need to make this a little like easier on the eyes.
I mean, when you start calling your own book Max Axel and the Wild Circuit is when it chiseled down. But the soundtrack is called Lucky 33 presents Max Axel and the Wild Circuit, the soundtrack. So we got it in there.
So I got a fun fact for you guys because I'm old. So in '97, I was starting to create a book with Andy Smith, and I have 5 pages of finished art. And because Andy got hired by CrossGen in '98, so he had to leave me. But I was working with Eric Larson. He was going to publish the book when he was the publisher at Image, and Larson said, "Hey, you got to shorten that title because it's just too wordy." The title was The Covenant of Avalon. That's it.
Too wordy.
Like today that would fly all day in comics. Yeah. Like
that's your next HBO show.
All right, Damion, what are you reading these days?
I couldn't think of any names because I was what I do is when I'm creating, I sort of stop reading too many other comics because I don't want to set any of that to filter in, and I don't want to actually steal an idea or
yes,
something.
Yeah.
But
Alex.
just from like literally around me, I've got this I just read recently.
Oh yeah. Yep, that's a good book.
Yeah, another reason why I rarely come on the show because I end up buying everything. I just bought your book, your all's book. All of
it. Appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate
all 5 books on there. Like my wife's gonna kill me. It's in the other room. I can Apex is another good one.
Yep.
Love
yes,
Apex.
So good.
I actually I did his action figure, and I still have one sitting over here. It's amazing. It's awesome.
He'll be on. Next week.
I didn't know you did his action figure. That's awesome, dude. Kitty's so good. I love him.
Yep.
This is the actual first one ever printed.
That's so cool, dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
I'm jelly.
That's why I made it. Cool. I was a fan. And before the last Kickstarter, he was like, "Could you make some more?" And I didn't really have time, so I just gave him the file. Like, here, you can have the file. I'm a fan. I love your work. What else we got? This is one that came out a long time ago that I had in the pile. Covering the title, that probably doesn't help.
Oh, that
This is some weird bearded dude that makes this book, Memoirs of an Angel.
Yes.
Brian Rodman, he's a good friend of mine.
Yes. Cool people.
Seriously, pick this up. BrianRodman.com. Pick up his book. It's very good. This one I've read from time to time. I don't know how I feel about it. The logo needs to change. I don't know about this guy.
That's a great book.
Where's my copy of Oswald? I have an Oswald one in here too. I don't know where it went. I've got like a stack of them behind me. That's why he needs to come out with a issue list of what's been. Just an issue like here's all the issues I've made so far because I don't know what I have or don't have. So I just buy everything when it comes out because
checklist.
I bought the first couple.
JD a must-read list. Yeah.
Yeah. It's coming. It's coming. It's actually coming out this campaign. I'm gonna do one, so everyone will get one.
Nice. But when I put the trade on my Kindle and I was like, I started reading it at work and I'm like, I'm 45 minutes back late from lunch going, oh God, I gotta put this away. I'm not even like kissing your butt. It's a really, really good story. And it's rare anymore that I get sucked in. It's why I buy print indie books. In that case it was digital. But it's why I buy the books because I'm like, you just get sucked in a way I feel that mainstream doesn't give you anymore, or when it does, it's very rare.
Yeah.
Like it's for such a short period of time because then they yank them off the book. And put them on something else, or they go to another company or make their own books now.
Or they cancel the book.
Yeah.
All right, let me run through some of these real quick. Just here to leave a like. Thanks, Joe. See, I told you it's Claus, not Claus. I don't know.
It's Klaus.
Klaus, yeah. Klaus.
Damian better say he's reading my stuff.
That's why I laughed.
I saw it.
He's gonna rearrange your Funko wall.
Them fighting words, JD.
Uh-huh.
That's hilarious.
There you go.
You already did.
We lost C. Michael, so I don't know. He's not gonna answer the question. He doesn't read anything, I guess.
He said he's there.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The camera went crazy. It was a horrible picture, so I decided to put this horrible picture up.
Great for a trade.
All right. So what are you reading these days, Mike?
Let's see. I'm waiting for the next volume of Octopus Cowboy to come out from Jason. I can't say his last name. Can't say anybody's last name. So also let's see. Only Death Can Save Us. I have read Shield of the Interceptor, JD. So there. Some other books by some other people that might not be in this panel, may not be running the show. Who knows?
Nice.
Also, as far as kaiju is concerned, there was an Aftershock book that I'll probably be featuring. I'll be talking about Tuesday too. It's called Kaiju Heist or Kaiju.
Oh, true.
Crap! I should remember that. It was an Aftershock book basically, and it was them robbing a bank during the kaiju invasion. So
that's awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Kaiju Heist.
Sounds super fun.
Yeah, is it kaiju? Yeah. So that was a pretty good book. That was from Aftershock, so that might be independent now. I don't know.
Nice. I don't know. For myself, I constantly read anything from Hellboy, the entire Hellboy universe, the Magnolaverse. Have you guys ever read of Once in Future, James Tynion?
Yes. So good.
James Tynion, Wind, like everything else. Nice House on the Lake. Pretty much Once in Future is the only thing I haven't read by him.
Okay, well, it's a good place to start. Illusion Witched. That was another good book.
You know what else is good? It's a not mainstream book. It's DC Black Label. It's Human Target. That is so
I've
good.
heard really good things about that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for volume 2. So I'm
someone just posted about that on our comic group.
So good.
Nice House on the Lake by James Tynion is DC Black Label, and it's
Oh, is the one you just mentioned, Charlie? That's is that King?
Yes. Yeah. Tom King. Yep. It's so good.
Yeah. It's funny. I hear so many people dog him out, and I mean, and every single time, like I read the Adam Strange book that he put out, right?
Oh my God, that was amazing! Strange Adventures.
Yeah,
dude,
it was
so good.
That was an awesome ass book, and I was like, "What are these people talking about?"
They're hating. I don't know what they're hating on.
I will back him
Batman
forever. I think he does really crazy stuff, and I think he takes risks that people don't. I mean, when he did Vision, that was like, I was sold forever. I was like, I'll follow this dude to the end of the earth. I really like his stuff. He's like a huge part of the DC like movies now. He's going to be writing like a good portion of their stuff, I think, which is a huge plus for me.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been reading Department of Truth.
That's so good too. Oh my gosh. Yeah, volume 1 or 2 just came out. Yeah.
But you said not
wait,
Image.
who's
I
that?
think
Is
said
that
not
also
Image,
Tinian?
JD.
Did I say not Image? Oh,
You
all right.
did say
Sorry.
not
Yeah, because I was gonna.
Okay.
House of
So
yeah,
some of
there's a
the
bunch of
images
books.
sold like indie. Okay.
Yeah.
Like 8 billion
House,
8 billion genies.
House of Slaughter. You guys ever heard of that one?
I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
Yeah, that's a really good book. Frank Miller's Pandora, the Frank Miller line. Yeah,
I've read the first volume of that. Yeah, and Ronin 2 is out. Ronin Volume 2, which is really cool. I read the first issue. It's really good.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, listen, my list is so damn long. It's not even funny. It's crazy. I read like 5 or 6 books at a time, and I'm reading, and I only read trades. So and it's like I got them pile up, and I read them over and over again. Oh Jesus. Is this Jay again? Jesus Christ, this guy won't shut up. You would think he's on the show, like he's not on the show. Like,
Tell if you have a drink in his hand. That's all I need to know.
Exactly. All right, gentlemen. Go ahead, Charlie. You gonna say something?
No, I was just joking about JD pulling the slots while he's texting us.
I know, really. All right, listen, we're at the 2-hour mark, so we made it. We're done. So thank you so much. You guys are all awesome. Good luck on all the campaigns. All of them are doing great. So, hopefully that'll keep going. And let's start with Mr. Tom. Please, sir, let us know where we can find you and your work.
Yeah, so basically everybody knows we pretty much live on Facebook. So that's where I am. That's where Big Dog Inc. is for the most part. So find us there. We do Twitter and Instagram. It's BDI Comics. We are on TikTok for some reason. Also BDI Comics. There's nothing there really yet, but we'll get there. Hashtag Tom hates everything. Remember that part. And we do have a Patreon as well. Patreon.com/Big Dog Inc. So if you want to kind of watch how the soup is made, that's kind of what we do there. We show you everything from designs to lines to colors to logos to everything. You get to watch everything get made. There's special exclusive offers for Patreon members and so on as well. And again, if you are a digital person, we are on Global Comics. You can look us up there, Big Dog Inc. And a lot of our stuff is free to you to read. To just check out the first volume, and then if you like it, we have 3 or 4 other volumes that follow it up too. So yeah, and we'll have Kickstarters all throughout the year, including this month, next week, a week from, oh my God, it's not even a week from, it's in 4 days. Yeah, we're launching the Bad Kitty book that I write for Dynamite Comics. That'll be on Kickstarter well, we're projecting Wednesday, but Kickstarter still has to approve everything, but it should be fine. We'll be launching on Wednesday for Bad Kitty. So yeah.
All right, cool. Charlie, where can they find you in your work, sir?
I'm easy. Just go to Charlie McElvy, pretty much any social media except for Instagram because they got locked out. So Charlie.McElvy at Instagram. But more importantly, you can go to spider-squirrel.com. You'll see my current Kickstarters and what I got going on, and you can subscribe to my Substack. It's CharlieMcElvy at .substack.com. I have not posted in a couple months, but as of today, this weekend rather, I'll be posting monthly. So I'll keep you updated on everything. Eventually, maybe I'll do a paid Substack. For now, everything's free. So jump in, join in, and the worst thing is one extra email in your inbox.
All right, nice. Mo, where can they find you in your work?
Okay, so me, my personal stuff, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. Lucky33 is also on Instagram. We are Lucky33 in Comics on Instagram. We also have our personal site, lucky33comics.com. We can go to buy our books and that kind of stuff. My personal stuff, I'm Mo Grant on Facebook, or the 16-bit B-Boy on Instagram. If you want to follow me, look at my awkward New York Comic-Con cosplays, you're more than welcome to. But mostly everything's at Lucky33 on the Instagram or on the website.
All right, cool. Alex, where can they find you in your work, sir?
You can find me at the same places that you just found that guy, and also I do a lot of TikTok, and it's all really a lot. So it's all really a lot, one word. You can find me there. I do regular stuff about comic books, but also videos just about my brain's thoughts. And yeah, that's Riggs.
All right, cool. Corey?
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Riggs doesn't really use social media.
You can find me under a rock somewhere in Philly. Don't wander for too long. I wouldn't suggest.
And don't make the wrong turn either.
If you need to get in contact with Corey, message one of us or throw a pigeon in the air.
Gotcha. Smoke signal?
Yeah, those work. Yep, smoke stacks work.
No eagles.
Those more often than I should.
Does not respond to the
fire
bat
department.
signal.
He is an Eagle Scout. He can't actually respond to smoke signals.
Right.
Okay.
Nice. All right. Damion, where can they find you, your work, sir?
Places.
Nailed it.
Oh, wait. I'm on Chrome, so my thing's not up there. RUOmniversal.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok is Day One Comics. You look up Day One Comics, it's me, Day, the number one, and comics. Right now I'm doing like a daily comic during the week. I actually missed Friday because I suck and work got busy. But just like a little one panel, like a little drawing every day, trying to get back into the groove before I start putting out books later in the year. So keep an eye on that space because that's when you'll see what's happening next.
All right, cool. Mr. Lanning?
All right. As always, you can check me out on the Linktree / Michael Lanning. Has my Facebook, Twitter, which is okay. If I'm ever on there, Instagram, and of course my portfolio and everything. I haven't added smoke signals yet, but after tonight, I definitely will. And of course, on the IndyComicsNetwork.com every Tuesday, where for dispatches from outside the box, where we scour the corners of geekdom to inspire you to create outside the box. Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, and Sketchy Saturday Saturday. So,
all right, cool. So I'm JD Calderon. You can find me here just about every Sunday. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all under JD Calderon. TheOswaldChronicles.com, TallTalesOnline.com, that sort of thing. And more importantly, go check out my Kickstarter. It's in the show notes. Corey, Mo, Alex, your Kickstarter is in the show notes, along with Charlie's. Everybody, go check out those. All the links are there. Go buy some awesome books. And like I always say, buy more comics, especially ours. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.